So you're thinking about moving to Bellingham, Washington. Well, before you get too far in your search, I encourage you to pause and watch this video because it may not only save you some time, but perhaps a lot of money as well. See, not every home in this beautiful city is a good investment. And today we're going to spend some time talking about the types of homes that you should not buy in Bellingham and the surrounding areas. We're going to get started right now. All right, so as we're diving in, talking about these homes that you should not buy in Bellingham, I want to provide the caveat that is often present when we're talking about always and never type circumstances. There are exceptions to every rule, so if you have the budget, the knowledge, the experience, the patience, well then perhaps some of the homes that I'm going to talk about today are homes that you would consider purchasing despite some of their shortcomings, versus if you're a first-time home buyer, someone looking to downsize or retire, someone that does not have experience with home renovation projects, someone who is not looking to spend extra money, and someone who is not looking for a lot of surprises when it comes to learning about your new home, well then this is going to be a valuable list of homes for you to avoid as you are conducting your search here in Bellingham and the surrounding area. All right, so first on our list, we're talking about homes of advanced age. Now when I say advanced age, I'm going to be talking about homes that are in the ballpark of 100 years old or older. Much of Bellingham was beginning to be settled back in the late 1800s, so we have homes that go back to the 1890s, in some cases even a bit older than that, but lots and lots of homes from the early 1900s. Now, particularly when these homes have not been updated or perhaps only partially updated, we run into all sorts of perspective problems with the main systems of the home. This includes the foundation, this includes the roof, this includes plumbing and electrical. This includes insulation in the home. I just recently had a home that was built in 1927. We had under contract. Through the inspection process, my clients learned there was a product called vermiculite insulation that was in the attic of the home. This particular product is in kind of a powder format and contains asbestos, and it appeared to be present in various areas of the home. They had young children, and for them, this just seemed like too big of a burden, too big of an obstacle to clear, and so they decided to terminate that contract. So when we talk about older homes, these homes were not necessarily built, or they certainly weren't built to current code. They certainly weren't built in many cases by pulling permits and having an independent third party inspect the work. So if these homes have not been updated, there are a lot of prospective surprises and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of expensive improvements that you can anticipate needing to make over the course of the early years of you owning the home. If you have experience in restoring old homes, if you have the budget for restoring an old home, if you have a contractor lined up to do this work for you, well then maybe you go in eyes wide open, understanding there's knob and tube wiring, understanding there's dated plumbing, and those are things that you're willing to take on. But for a first-time home buyer, or again, someone who is looking to avoid added expense and added work in a home, homes of advanced age are first on the list to avoid. Number two on our list are homes that are in flood areas. Now, when we look at the flood maps here in Whatcom County, we see 100-year floodways, 100-year floodplains, and 500-year floodway and floodplains. And these are meant to indicate the period of time in which flooding may impact this particular area. Flooding is something that is prevalent surrounding the Nooksack River as it moves through the county. Most often, if there are flooding events that happen in Whatcom County, they happen in the fall months and they happen more in the northeast section of the country. So we're talking about Everson, Nooksack, Sumas, and some of those surrounding areas. Now again, just as I've provided the caveat in the intro and the caveat section 1 of these 100-year-old homes, there is a time and a place where you might consider purchasing a home that's in a flood zone. The first would be perhaps if that home is built in a way that it is taking into consideration that flood zone. So, elevated on stilts up above what would be any reasonable floodplain. Well, then you might feel that that's a safe and significant enough mitigation for you to be comfortable buying that home. Another thing that's happening a lot as some of these areas like Everson and Nooksack are continuing to be developed is that builders are actually elevating the lots to be precluded from the floodplain. So there's a process that you can go through. There's a document that you can file for. It's called a LOMA, L-O-M-A, which is a letter of map amendment. Now, when you acquire a letter of map amendment, you are certifying via a surveyor as well as the city where the LOMA is filed that that home has effectively been removed and eliminated from the floodplain based on the elevation. Typically, it's even the dirt that's in the crawl space of the home needs to be above that floodplain. And so with that LOMA, you can petition the Army Corps of Engineers, FEMA, whoever is managing these flood maps to have that home removed from the flood zone. Of course, it's always a calculated risk. Flooding is often unpredictable, and past events are not always indicative or a proper reflection of events that could come. So if you are buying a home that is in a flood zone or perhaps has been through this process of being removed from a flood zone, you of course still want to take into consideration that the area that you're in could be impacted even if your home is not. For that reason, things to be wary of, take into serious consideration, or homes in flood zones. Number 3 on our list are flips that seem too good to be true. Now, we've all been flipping through the channels late at night and come across an HGTV show where we're showing a home that is in complete disarray, but over the course of a half-hour episode is completely renovated, completely remodeled, and in phenomenal condition for its new owners. Time and a place with the right contractors, with the right amount of money. Yes, of course, you can renovate, rehab, and flip a home and remodel that home to be in good, sound condition for its new owner. But a lot of times we'll see properties sell at a low price, a very short period of time pass, and that home come back on the market at a substantially higher price. And really what that party has done in that short time that they've owned the home is mainly cosmetic updates. So maybe they've come in and put down new floors, they've put new paint and maybe some new trim on the walls, redone a kitchen, redone a bathroom, but it's largely cosmetic. Things like plumbing and electric and roof and insulation have not been completed. So how do we know if a home has been remodeled well or if a home has been remodeled poorly and affordably? Well, you've heard me talk about in other videos the importance of a home inspection. So regardless of the type of home that you're buying, I'm a huge proponent of home inspections, but particularly so if you're pursuing any of the types of homes that we're talking about in this particular video. So if you're thinking about buying a flip, if you're walking through it, it smells nice, it looks nice, it's beautiful, that's great. Maybe they've done a tremendous job, but you're really going to want to get a home inspector through that home to evaluate the condition of the home, top to bottom, inside and out, upside down, backwards, forwards, what have you, to make sure that you know what you're signing up for and make sure that the caliber of work that has been done to the home is going to be to your satisfaction and the long-term benefit of the home. So again, number 3 on our list, flips that seem too good to be true. Hey, if this is your first time on the channel, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you can keep up on all the content that we're releasing about Bellingham, about Whatcom County, and all the great things that are going on here in this area. My name is Jeff Ingen. I'm with MJB Real Estate Group, and every day we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you considering a move to this area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving tomorrow, 10 months from now, or sometime in between, we encourage you to reach out. All of our contact information can be found below, and we're standing by and ready to help. One last thing I do want to draw your attention to is our completely free relocation guide. You'll see links throughout the video. This is something we put together to help you continue to explore Bellingham. Consider if it might be the right spot for you. But for now, let's get back to talking about these homes that you should not buy here in Bellingham. Number 4 on our list dovetails really nicely with number 3. This is homes that have unpermitted work. So sometimes you have an overzealous homeowner who thinks that they can go ahead and take care of all of the issues that their home has had and probably experienced for many years before they've decided to put it on the market. This might be electrical, this might be plumbing, this might be roof, this could be any component of the home. But if the work has not been done professionally, and most importantly, if it has not been permitted, that means that that seller has not been through the process of pulling the proper documents, having the proper inspections to ensure that the work that's been done is safe and to code. So again, we're in another situation where that home inspection is very, very important. Now, how do you know if there's not been permits pulled for the work that's been done? Well, in some cases, you can go and access public record through your county to locate the exact permits that were pulled or perhaps not for the work that was done. Many times, if work is new, especially of an electrical persuasion, there will be a sticker inside of the panel or a report from the final inspection that was done on that home when that electrical inspector from the county came out to evaluate the work. So this is something that you want to be wary of, you want to be mindful of, and again, in any of these cases, just as we've talked about in item 3, you want to secure a sound home inspector who can help you evaluate this home top to bottom and make sure that you're going in eyes wide open ahead of your purchase. Number 5 is going to be last on our list today, and this is going to be homes with foundation problems. Now, the foundation of a home is of the utmost importance for the integrity of the home really entirely. So the foundation, as we often talk about, what you build your home on, what you build anything on, is of the utmost important. It needs to be sound, it needs to be strong, it needs to ensure that it can maintain the integrity of your property for the long haul. Things that can happen if there are problems in a foundation is that floors begin to sink. Then the framing of the home begins to sink, then the roof begins to sink, and things can really unravel quite quickly. When you walk into a home and you start to see lots of wall cracks, especially those that come off and go in diagonal directions from doors and windows, there's a good indication that there may be something going on with the foundation. Now again, is it possible to repair or remediate an issue with a foundation? Absolutely it is, but it's timely, it's costly, and there is still some inherent risk that's involved in buying a home that has foundation issues. Even after they're fixed, even perhaps after you've had that work done, there are no guarantees that there won't be continued issues in the future. So number 5 on the list, homes with foundation problems. Hey, now as I've shared, there's caveats, there's exceptions. There are people who come to me who are looking specifically for these types of homes. They're looking for old homes that need to be renovated, that need to be rehabbed, whether that's because they like the character of the home, they think it's a wise investment, they think there's an opportunity for them to make some money in the rehabilitation of this home. There's a time and a place where people are seeking out exactly the types of homes that we're talking about in this video. But again, for the general population, these are types of homes, especially as a first-time home buyer, that you're going to want to avoid in your search. Oftentimes, price tags will reflect some of these conditions that we've talked about, and those are homes that are attractive to first-time home buyers on the basis of price. But it's important that you know what you're setting out to accomplish. It's important to understand some of the pitfalls and the negatives that you might experience in your home search. And so this is a short list of the homes that you should definitely be wary of as you are starting or in the midst of your home search. Hey, as always, I hope this video has been helpful and informative for you. I encourage you to reach out with any questions that you might have. You can contact us using the contact information below. You can comment on the video. We're always glad to respond that way as well. One last time, I want to encourage you to download our free relocation guide that you've seen featured throughout the video, as well as ask you to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you can keep up on all the content that we're releasing about Bellingham, Whatcom County, and all the things here in this area. But again, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. I look forward to seeing you again soon.